Hey, Shalom Akim, Shalom. First thing and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor as due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kakadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Knows in the gospel abroad, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. Man, we are in those times, brothers. All right, I like that show, The Last of Us. That zombie virus. Okay, they actually have a virus like that, or the particular living elements or the cells of a replica virus, such as in that show or that video game, The Last of Us. Okay, but this is called tranq. It says skin-rotting drug tranq infiltrates big cities, zombifying bodies, and that's the spirit we was dealing with. Yesterday we was in this class, and those people that deal with the drug and alcohol policy, they was actually going into this. They was basically saying it's a new drug on the street that people are literally turning into zombies, and they call that shit tranq. Okay, and what are the chances that it hit Philadelphia first? Okay, which we know Philly is a totally degradable place, man. Okay, Philly is very poverty stricken in most areas, certain areas, mainly in the inner cities, and it's crime ridden, and it's a lot of street drugs that goes on in Philly. Okay, Esau has done his work out there in Philadelphia. I say that much. So the brothers out there teaching, they have a heavy lot. But anyway, to show you that we're in the end, Yahweh Shai is really making his move. It says experts sound alarm over zombie skin rotten tranq drug taking over the streets of America that has no medication to reverse overdose. So basically, if you OD on that shit, man, you through, man, and you don't know what people will give you. You don't know what's what. And this is the reason why the scriptures say be circumspect. Okay, keep your head on a swivel. Okay, even if you go into a bar and have a drink, man, hey, be careful. My thing is, if I go have a drink and I end up leaving my cup there by accident, I don't touch it. Unless it's a brother there watching it, I don't touch it. That motherfucking drink is gonna stay there because you never know who's spicing shit or spiking shit out here. You don't know how many people have given up the spirit or, just became completely lethargic, bugged down in their mind because they took some type of recreational drug or somebody spiked that drink. This is why we need Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai. We need the Lord, because this is only the beginning of sorrows. Like the Lord said, horrible is the end of an unrighteous generation. And this is definitely that generation that have the blood of the prophets on it. Okay, so it says a skin-rotting drug commonly known as tranq or tranq dope has hit the streets of Philadelphia and is making its way to California. The U.S. Sun can exclusively reveal. It says the public health officials are disturbed by its spread and the horrific wounds it caused on users. And you know what, man? Esau had his hand in this shit because, like I said, watching that TV show, The Last of Us, they showed you that was a government experiment. That they broke it down at the beginning of the show. Those elites, they was pretty much on the level of Soros, Kill Bill, and what's this guy's name, Cotton Swab. They were basically like WHO founders in a roundabout way that deals with these particular pestilence and so forth. And they stated that if that shit got unleashed on humanity, then that was a wrap, man. He said we lose. Okay? And what are the chances that the CDC have something on zombie apocalypse and then all of a sudden this alleged street drug is hitting the streets now? Because by them deeming it a street drug, that's Esau's way of denying that he has a hand in it, when we know in fact Esau is the progenitor, or he is behind street dope, street drugs. Because if you watch TV shows like Snowfall, you watch what's the name of that show, came out a while ago, it's called The Wire, you notice that these big time drug dealers, they work hand in hand with the fucking government, man. Okay, so they deem it street drug when in fact this shit was created in a laboratory, but they sell it as a street drug because that's the way that they can dismiss it, because the word street drug is very dismissive. So if you see somebody in your neighborhood, they look like they standing up doing the mime dance, then hey, he's probably on some tranq, man. Fucking tranq. Man. But it says tranq is the common term for Alaxine, an animal tranquilizer drug that is now most commonly cut with heroin or fentanyl. Dang. It says Zaxaline is approved by the Food and Drug Administration, as an animal tranquilizer used by vets, but is not safe for humans. It says, but according to the reports from the Sun, tranq users have found raw wounds erupting on their skin at the ejection sites, which have rotted the surrounding skins and cause infections, sometimes leading to amputation. It says the wounds turn into a crust of dead tissue called a scar, which is, if it's untreated, it will cause people to lose limbs. Holy shit, man. So, hey, oh shit. It's fun to get scary out here, man. Shit. Hey, you people in for some shit, man. All right? Goddamn, man. Matter of fact, not the clicker, all the zombies, Last of Us. It's this one particular, it's like a bloater, man. Okay, they got 2 different types of bloater, and this put me in the mindset. I was looking at it earlier. It was a clip on YouTube of the guy playing The Last of Us, and he broke down the difference between a bloater. It's 2 different bloaters, and the Spirit told me, he said, people gonna be turning into that shit somehow. And what are the chances that this fucking street drug is out called tranq? And I knew nothing about it. But the Spirit told me to look at that video today, and all of a sudden, here we go. All right? So, matter of fact, let's do this. Infected. Let's go here. Okay, because you got the regular runners, and then you got the, these are like the, I forgot what they're called. They're like stealth, but these are clickers, and these are like the bloaters here. Okay? And this is basically, when I saw this today, the Spirit said people can start turning into this. I promise, the Spirit told me that today, and all of a sudden, this whole ordeal go out. But when you read this article, okay, because that's a clicker, that's stalkers, right? Those are the runners. I knew them by heart. Those are the easy ones to kill. But the stalkers, they kind of creepy. The clickers, they're very, you got to be very tranquil on killing them. And the shambler, they're just running to you. Then you got the bloater, which is a stronger version of the shambler. Then you got this thing here, the Rat King. All right? But basically, you see what I'm saying. And the scriptures goes into cannibalism in this particular shit. Because, matter of fact, let me go back. Yep, because it says, according to the report for Sun, it says the users have found raw wounds erupting on their skin at ejection sites, which are right in the surrounding skin and cause the infection sometimes to lead to amputation, and the wounds start to crust of dead tissues called a scar, which if left untreated will cause people to lose limbs. Wow, it says some former addicts even have spoke about seeing people continue to inject the drug into their stumps. It says, how you pronounce it? Xylazine. Yeah, xylazine killed a record of nearly 107,000 people in the U.S. in 2021. Damn, man. So, hey, man, Yahweh is bringing judgment. Okay? So this is the book of Ecclesiastes 4. And I'm going to start at verses, because that's oppression, man. Start at 4:1. It says, so I return to consider all the oppressions that are done under the sun, and behold, the tears of such were oppressed. And it's talking about our people, because you better believe a lot of Jakes are on that drug, man. It says, and they had no comforter, and on the side of the oppressors there was power, but they had no comforter, right? Because Esau Edom, he is the oppressing serpent. Okay, he's the oppressor, but yet he does nothing to aid or ease the oppression on the other, on Jake. Okay, the other nations, they're being oppressed to some degree, but our people are the oppressed. Okay, it says, but they had no comforter. It says, wherefore I praise the dead, which are already dead, more than the living, which are yet alive, man. Okay, and these people, they're fucking dead. Okay, because look, check this out. Going back to this article here, look at this. And Esau actually caught it on film. So let's see. Let's see what it is. Let's look at this real quick. Let me let this play first, Salakia. No, I don't want that shit. Come on, man. Fucking Satan. Come on, man. And we told you about that whole ZOMBIE apocalypse shit. Here it go.
I never heard of tranq or anything, man, until I came here.
Alarm bells are sounding in Philadelphia about tranq.
You see people kind of like walking around looking like animals when their knuckles are touching the ground.
Now Art El Malik's hands and knuckles are swollen to 3 times their natural size from exposure to the animal sedative xylazine, street name tranq.
When I was leaving, somebody did samples, and that's what got me stuck, man. They had samples of pretty dope.
The xylazine now mixed into 90% of Philadelphia's fentanyl and heroin supply, drugs that drive fatal overdoses.
Adding a horse tranquilizer, something more sedating, makes it feel like it lasts longer.
But now fentanyl addicts newly addicted to xylazine, seen nodding out and falling over along Philadelphia's notorious Kensington Avenue, are also developing dangerous sores on their bodies.
Big these holes all over you, these sores in your legs and wherever. They just pop out of anywhere.
Have the doctors told you that you could lose your leg?
Yes.
And that's not enough to get you to stop?
Trying. It's a lot easier said than done.
Art El Malik knows infection could precede amputation.
Yeah, I mean, there's a possibility. Yeah, it's a possibility. A lot of my friends have lost their limbs already.
Withdrawal symptoms associated with tranq can be brutal.
I tried like cold turkey, man. I had a seizure and everything.
You have problems on your legs?
I did, man. I had like a hole in my shin, and I could literally put 2 fingers in there.
We noticed one young man in a wheelchair missing his left foot. A federal law enforcement source told Pix 11 News vials of xylazine have already been found in New York City stash houses that produce drugs, and it's spreading to other states.
Last I heard, it's probably at least 36 or so.
Even though the animal tranquilizer xylazine is causing some people to lose their limbs here in Philadelphia, it is not listed as a controlled substance in the United States. The Drug Enforcement Administration does not regulate it. More than 50 years ago, the Food and Drug Administration approved xylazine for use by veterinarians as a pain reliever and sedative for animals. DEA Administrator Ann Milgram told a Senate committee last week her agency asked the Department of Health and Human Services 15 months ago to make xylazine a controlled substance.
We are tracking xylazine across the United States, and there is no question that it is an increasing threat.
And the FDA issued a warning last November about the burgeoning crisis. But the drug dealers abound on Kensington Avenue. Ralph Dixon, a lifelong Philadelphia resident, told us he's never seen anything like what's happened with tranq.
There are no place for these people. It was probably too potent for a human being to be taken anyhow. The drug dealers, why they cutting the drugs with that stuff is beyond me.
I'm Mary Murphy, Pix 11 News.
Esau gonna pay, boy. Oh, shit. Lord got something for this dude, man. That's crazy. But it says, but yea, better is he than both they which have not yet been, who have not seen the evil work that is done under the sun. So it's been better if you ain't even been part of this shit, been born into this wickedness, man. That's how wicked, this how evil this place is, man. Tranq, shit. It says, and again, I consider all travail and every right work, for this is a man of envy of his neighbor. This is also vanity and a vexation of the spirit, man. Amen. The Lord gave them up to that demon, man. That's an actual demon on people. Okay, because hey, what's to say if people? Let's to say if you don't get aggressive for that. Who's to say that don't have an aggressive side to it? Once the side effects wear off and you becomes aggressive, especially if it eats at your cells like that, ain't no telling what it does to your mind. Okay, so this is the book of Mark 5, and I'm gonna start at verses 1. It says, and they came unto the other side of the sea and into the country of the Gadarenes. And it says, and when he was come out of the ship, immediately that met him out of the tombs a man with an unclean spirit. They got unclean spirits on him, man. Okay, because if you pay attention to this story, he was in a spirit like he was in a more aggressive type spirit like that. But it says, and who had his dwelling among the tombs, and no man can bind him, no, not with chains, because he that had been often bound with fetters and chains, and the chains had been plucked asunder by him, meaning he had that demonic strength on him. Meaning the average barbell of the ancient world was, come on, man, our fucking ancestors, they was giving away 1,000-pound plates of gold, 1,000-pound vet. Like if you read the story of the Maccabees, you had a shield that weighed 1,000 pounds, man, a solid gold, you know. So just imagine how strong they were back in the day, and on top of being possessed by demons, you can't begin to fathom that. And it says, because they have often been bound with fetters and chains, and the chains have been plucked asunder by him. It says, and the fetters broken in pieces, neither could they any man tame him. And always night and day he was in the mountains and in the tombs crying and cutting himself with stones, man, okay? Because he had that aggressive spirit on him, he had that demonic spirit, you know? He was given over to that spirit. Like it tells you here in Romans, the first chapter, and I'm going to start at verses, let's start at verses 24. It says, wherefore the Most High gave them up to uncleanness, through the lust of their own hearts to dishonor their own bodies between themselves, man. And we know that's going into the Momoism and stuff like that. But at the same time, these people are doing drugs, man. They're getting possessed by these spirits. Who's to say that these motherfuckers ain't gonna start running around here like on some Last of Us type shit? Because the scriptures say that the basically cannibalism is coming back in a big way. So who's to say that these people ain't gonna start eating and attacking people? Because we know anybody that understands street drugs, you understand that street drugs can make you very aggressive. Okay, for those who've done it. I've never done street drugs, so I don't have that experience, but I've been around people that has been high out their fucking mind, and hey, when nothing, you couldn't stop them. I'll put it to you that way. Like one brother told me, man, it was this dude, man, back in the day, you know, they used to go to concerts and this dude used to get wet up because they got some shit out here in Kansas City called wet. And a lot of these women, they own that shit out here heavy. Like a lot of women in Kansas City own that wet, man. But he said it was this dude, man, they called the nigga Chill Will. They said that the nigga was off some wet and he was like sitting on a park bench or like a bus stop bench and the nigga was stuck, man. And they said they had to pour like some milk or some shit to get the nigga to basically get unstuck from the bench because there was a force that was literally holding him there in his mind. You see? So this shit is getting ready to get out of hand, man. That show The Last of Us ain't known for no reason. I put it to you that way. Did I read that already? Saving life. Yep, it says the U.S. spoke to the National Institute of Drug Abuse, part of the National Institutes of Health, about the additional danger of this drug in relation to Narcan. It says Narcan is naloxone is the most commonly used life-saving drug to reverse the effects of an overdose. But it says there are no existing medications for reversing xylazine overdose. It says Philadelphia mayoral candidate David O. told the U.S. Sun, "We have a bad epidemic in Philadelphia." That's right. It says the Republican candidate added that the city, especially Kensington, has become the destination for drug addicts and dealers. And O believed that the lack of medication to treat the tranq overdose would not dissuade other addicts or dealers, man. So you get caught with that shit, man, your ass is out of there. Like it says here, they're living for the high. Like the scriptures go into, you live in pleasure. She that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth. Is that they hear about a person who died. That's it. They're going for it. Death is a big seller. It's money maker, man. And they making a lot of money off that wickedness. It's witchcraft, man. At its peak, damn near. Okay, let me find another precept real quick. Yeah, this is Wisdom of Solomon 3. And I'm going to start at verses 18. It says, or if they die quickly, they have no hope, neither comfort in the day of their trial. Okay, they have no comfort. These people have no hope. The drug was their hope, and before you know it, they give up the spirit. You know, and it says, for horrible is the end of the unrighteous generation, man. Horrible. Okay, and this is also part of the plagues that Yahweh Bashim Yahushai said that he was going to smite Egypt with. Drug is a fucking plague. It just said an epidemic. Okay, that's a plague right there. You don't think that those Egyptians in the ancient world and the Romans was finding ways to get high? Hell yeah, they was getting doped up or whatever the hell they was smoking or doing back then. Seances and sage and all that craziness, man. You know, but this is the book of 2nd Edges 15, and I'm gonna start at verses 11. It says, but I will bring them with the mighty hand and with the stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. And that's where we at, man. Woe unto the world and them that dwell therein. Okay, just getting ready to get bad, brothers. But hey, keep your eyes on the swivel. Pay attention to the prophecies, man. May the Lord come and get us soon. All praises and glory and honor that is due to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. And with that, shalom and the Baba Ball. Shalom.